Hey everybody, Sean Holsinger here from HolsingersFlyShop.com. Bringing another fly tying video today, if you want to call this one the tying video. And it's a fly that catches a lot of fish for us right now. It's a squiggle worm from Hareline, and it's a mini squiggle worm actually. Last year they brought these out and they sold real well, and something happened that they had to discontinue them. And they just brought them back this year, and we're glad that they did because I've been catching a ton of fish on them here lately. Especially this fall, I've been fishing them since they brought them back out. And I'm just going to show you this just because we carry it in the shop for one, and also just to show you how I tie it so they last a little longer. You'll see they come on a big strand here. It's just a rubber worm, kind of like a Berkeley power worm, not a power worm, but they're little trout worm things. And you just pull one off, and I'm going to show you how I prepare the hook and glue it on the hook so it doesn't come off. So let's get into tying it. There's not much to talk about, and there's not much to see. This is probably going to be my shortest video ever. So here it is, a picture of it and the material list to tie it. Alright, here we see the fly in the vise. Let's get into whatever we're going to call doing to this thing, if we call it tying or whatever. For a hook, I'm going to put one of our Holsinger's Fly Shop jig hooks in the vise here. And this is a size 14. I tie it on 12s, 14s, and 16s most often. And mostly 14s. That is a 2.8 millimeter slotted bead in black nickel. And I'll use pinks, golds, whatever color, it doesn't really matter here. And I'm just gonna use some 70 Denier Red Thread on here because I'm tying a red worm, so I'm gonna use some red thread to get underneath it so it doesn't show through. And all I'm gonna do is I'm gonna tie some thread on here and build up a bead dam, a little dam of thread behind that bead to lock it in place so it doesn't twist off. And also it's going to hold the glue a little bit better on that thread than just the bare shaft of the hook. So we're just going to tie that thread on there, finish it off, cut our thread off, and then I'm going to pop this out of the vise. And what I'm going to do, you're not going to be able to see it here, but I'm just going to take the squiggle worm, I'm just going to hold it in my hand, and I'm going to thread it like you thread a worm that you're bass fishing with. And I'm just going to thread it about 1/4 to 3/8 of an inch and pop it back out. There you can see just about 1/4 of an inch or so is all I'm going to do. I'm going to slide that right up to the thread, and then I'm going to pop it back in my vise. Okay, now here comes the last step. I'm going to take a little bit of glue. I'm going to use some super glue here. Put a little dab, that's a little much, but gonna work it all around that thread. And then I'm just gonna take the worm and I'm gonna push it up, and I'm gonna try to push the worm over the bead a little bit, and then just twist it so it gets centered on the top of the hook like that. And that's all that's to tying it. It's very, very simple. Got a little hair on it there. And if you want to call it tying, we'll call it tying. So there it is. Alright guys, I told you it was going to be a quick one, and it was. And there really isn't much tying to it. You could do it without the thread if you wanted, but I like it just to hold the bead in place and to give the glue something to grab onto. So that's why I do it that way. It works for me. I don't have a problem with them slipping off. And also the other reason that I like them so much, I really honestly don't fish squirmy worms that much because I hate to deal with them. I hate when I tie them, and I've got it down now. They'll last longer in my box. I used to use a Richardson fly box, and they did not last at all in those. I have a silicone box now, and they tend to last a lot longer in that. So, but still, they still unravel because you're wrapping them and putting tension on that rubber. They still tend to deteriorate and get destroyed. And also the other problem, catch a couple fish on them, and a lot of times the tail will get bit off, or it'll wrap around the stick and pull off that way or something. So I kind of don't like them. I really like these squiggle worms over squirmy worm. So that's been my go-to. I've been fishing these in the reds. There's a couple different red colors and 2 or 3 different pinks. And I've also been fishing it in the tan and the black too. Black works great for stained water. I really haven't found one that I haven't liked yet. So they've all been fishing. We've even found lately, we've been dropping them underneath a dropper and fishing them suspended in the water column and doing real well. And also, because of that, my dad did real well, caught a couple nice fish one day, dropping them under a CDC caddis. And then, since he said about dropping them, I put them on my dropper above an egg pattern and was fishing them suspended on my nymph rig that way, and was catching them up in the water column that way too. So don't be afraid. Don't think that this needs to be a point fly. You can fish this fly suspended, and it does real well too. So hope you enjoyed this. Go over to our website. You can find them there on our website. As long as Hareline has them in stock, we'll have them in stock. So that would be the only problem with getting them. You know how COVID works, and everything's up in the air on what you can get. And the fly fishing industry is no different. So anyway, enough talking, guys. Thanks for watching, and give me a thumbs up if you like this video. If you think it's ridiculous, put it in the comment. I don't care. Let's hear about it, because some guys don't like the squirmy worms. They catch fish. These things catch fish, but you might think it's cheating or whatever. I don't care. I just like to catch fish and have fun. So until next week, guys, when I bring you another video, I'm Sean Holsinger.